Why? Toby asked. He was very puzzled. That's your job, peeped Percy boomingly. Percy felt very important. Later, Percy decided it was time to check on his engines. He knew that's what Sir Topham Hatt would do. Children were waiting on the bridge. Percy peeped hello. But the children were looking down at the track. Gordon was puffing very slowly down the line. The children began to laugh. Look at Gordon, they cried. What a slowpoke! Then James stopped at the signal. The children laughed again. Who was that giant stripy bee they called? Finally, Toby huffed in with the heavy express. He was very tired. Gordon, James, and Toby heard the children laughing, and they saw Percy watching. Gordon called out to Percy.
I am supposed to be the fastest engine on Sodor, not the slowest, he huffed.
I'm supposed to be the reddest engine, moaned James. Now no one knows who I am. I'm only a steam tram, Toby puffed. The express is too heavy for me to pull. Percy was worried. He knew he had made lots of mistakes. Then Thomas puffed up. What's wrong, Percy? He asked his friend. Please help me, Thomas. I can't remember what Lady Hatt told me. All the engines are doing the wrong jobs. Thomas thought for a moment. You must go back over your tracks, he puffed. You might see things that will help you remember. Percy thought that was a very good idea. Thomas and Percy pulled into Knapford Station. Gordon and slow cars, puffed Percy. Suddenly, Percy saw crates of china waiting on the platform. That's it, Percy cried. Gordon is to take the china to Brendam Docks. He must pull his cars very slowly. Percy and Thomas puffed into the coal yards. James must be a busy bee, Percy said slowly. There were lots of grumbling coal cars waiting to be shunted. That's it. James is to shunt lots of coal cars. So he must be busy as a bee. Finally, Percy and Thomas arrived at Maithwaite Station. Toby must pull Gordon's express, wheezed Percy. Suddenly, Percy saw a group of visitors waiting on the platform. That's it, Percy cried. Toby is to take visitors to the Scottish castle. He has to go as fast as Gordon's express. Well done, Thomas puffed happily. By the end of the day, all of the engines were doing the right jobs. That evening, Sir Topham Hatt came to the sheds. You have done very well, Percy, he boomed. I'm very pleased. And I'm very pleased that you found your voice, Percy peeped happily. Sir Topham Hatt smiled. And I hope you never lose it again, Percy added. Here are 3 packages. They are new parts for James. See if you can tell what's in each package. One of them is a new wheel. Which package do you think it is? James's wheels are round. Would a round wheel be in this package? No, this package isn't round. What about this one? No, this package isn't round either. What about the last one? Yes, this package is round. The right shape for a new wheel. Another package has a new dome inside it. Which package could it be? James's dome is arch-shaped. Would a dome be in this package? No, this package isn't arch-shaped. What about this one? Yes, this package is arch-shaped. The right shape for a new dome. The last package should have a new whistle inside. Let's have a look at James's old whistle. This is a long, thin shape. Is it the same shape as the package? Yes, this is a long, thin package. The right shape for a new whistle. Now James has lots of nice new parts. Well done, James. The island of Sodor is a wonderful place. Thomas enjoys puffing all over the island. There are lots of special places to visit. Where's this? That's right. It's the Sodor Island Suspension Bridge. The Suspension Bridge is one of many beautiful bridges on the island of Sodor. There are lots of bridges. And every day, the engines puff across the bridges as they go about the island being really useful. Sometimes a bridge can be dangerous, especially if it's broken. One day, Neville, the new engine, was puffing towards the old bridge. Neville was new to the island. He didn't know the bridge was broken. Then he saw the danger flags and the barrier. But he was going too fast to stop. He crashed through the barrier and applied his brakes hard. Thomas steamed in. Neville was very scared. "Help me, Thomas." Thomas quickly buffered up to Annie and Clarabelle. Slowly and steadily, Thomas began to pull Neville back from the edge. And with one big puff, Neville was pulled to safety. Neville was safe and sound, and it was all thanks to his new friend, Thomas. Thomas likes all the bridges, but there's one that is very special for him, and that's the Sodor Suspension Bridge. One night, there was a terrible storm. The bridge twisted and shook in the gales, and with a terrible crack, it fell into the valley below. When Thomas saw what had happened to his favorite bridge, he was sad. He wanted to help repair it. The bridge needed a new steel beam. It was very heavy. Thomas pushed the beam all the way from the docks. That had been hard work, but now he had to work even harder. Very slowly and very steadily, Thomas rolled forward so that the cables round the beam were pulled tight. Very slowly and very steadily, the beam lowered to the ground. It went lower and lower until at last the beam was in place. Thomas had never been so proud. So that's why the Sodor Suspension Bridge is very special for Thomas. There are so many special places on the island of Sodor. Next time, Thomas will show us somewhere else. Today, Percy is delivering mail all over the island. Can you guess who he might meet on his way? An engine's coming. Who is it, Percy? This engine has a tall funnel and bright red paintwork and a big number 5. Who do you think it is? Percy thinks it's James. Yes, it is James. Well done, Percy. All the engines on Sodor look different. But this engine has been working in the coaling plant today and is covered in coal dust. How can we tell who it is? This engine has a round face and boiler. Do all the engines have round faces? No. Mavis and Toby have square faces. So it can't be either of them. What else can we see? This engine has a separate coal tender at the back. Do all the other engines have separate coal tenders? No, Thomas and Percy don't, so it can't be either of them. This engine has a very tall funnel. Do all the other engines have tall funnels? No, Henry and Gordon don't, so it can't be either of them. Who's left? James and Emily. James and Emily look very similar. They've got round faces, tall funnels, and separate coal tenders. This engine must have a washdown. What about that big drive wheel? There's only one engine with a drive wheel like that. And the engine is green. So it can't be James. It's Emily. Hello, Emily. Duncan drops a clanger. It was a busy time on the narrow gauge railway. It was the day of the county fair. The little engines puffed through the forests and valleys, getting ready for the big day. Rusty was taking freight cars full of flowers. Peter Sam was taking pumpkins. And Duncan had a very special job to do. He had to collect the big bell from the clock tower to be polished. On the way, Duncan puffed along an old and bumpy track. It was his favorite part of the railway. Each day, Duncan would rattle along the tracks. He enjoyed the sound his wheels made. Duncan raced backwards and forwards, rattling and clattering over the bumps. Rheneas chuffed up. "Duncan, you're going to be late," he peeped. But Duncan didn't hear Rheneas. His wheels were clattering and rattling too loudly. When Duncan finally arrived at the transfer yards, he was very late, and the foreman was cross. Workmen were waiting with a large wooden frame. Inside was the big bell. The bell chimed cheerfully as it was loaded onto Duncan's flatbed. "What a wonderful sound," peeped Duncan. "Remember," said the foreman sternly, "the bell is very heavy. The track to the polishers is old and in need of some repair. You must go slowly and carefully. But Duncan wasn't listening to the foreman. He was enjoying the chiming of the bell. Duncan chuffed along the track to the polishers. As he puffed through the mountains, his wheels started to clatter, and the bell started to chime. Duncan went faster. The bell chimed louder. With every bump and bend, it rattled and rang. It tinkled and clanged.